Hello there, EMS Adjuncts. I wanted to put together a short video on how to be able to access some key things on the KCC website, including EMS Student Resources, including the new student handbook, along with how to make course copies regarding Moodle and how to request Moodle trainings. So right now I'm starting out here on the KCC homepage, so www.kellogg.edu. The first thing that I'm going to go for EMS Student Resources, I'm going to go under Academics, and I can either go in under Academic Departments or Area of Study. And typically I go under Academic Departments. You'll now notice that Public Safety Education is listed, but we're also still listed under Allied Health, just as the way that the website is designed, it was not possible for us to come off of that. So I'll click on Public Safety Education. It'll take us to a landing page that will divide us either to criminal justice or emergency medical services. I'll click on emergency medical services. And it takes us to the EMS website. This is also easy to find at www.kellogg.edu/EMS. We'll take you here as well, and it'll also take you to the EMS Student Resources, which you can see right here on the left-hand side. Here it's going to lead us to the handbook. I've just completed the 2019-20 handbook, so that'll be going up shortly after there's one round of any additions or corrections that need to be made. There will be a new handbook release form. This is something that you're going to want to have your students print out, sign, and show them both the handbook and where to be able to access the handbook acknowledgement and release form. So that they'll print it out, turn it back into you. I typically would have my students get points for that. Also, how to sign up for National Registry, the flow chart for applying for a Michigan license, and then also for instructions on how to apply for a Michigan license as well. The one thing I'm going to try to add in here is information on how to apply for the National Registry practical exam, as that's now done through the state's website as well. Below are all the educational objectives and instructional curriculum that you might need or want to have access to. There's a number of other resources that are available here in the department, including NREMT testing, links to be able to sign up for the acuity scheduling, information on the training center, our accreditation, including things like pass rates. All that's going to be found in the page here. So I encourage you to definitely take a look at this. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the KCC homepage and answer the second most common question I've been asked recently, and that is, how do I do a course copy to Moodle? So the easiest way to be able to do this is to scroll down here to the bottom, and under Faculty and Staff, click on Help Desk. From Help Desk, we're going to go to, we have two options. We have student support, so if a student loses their password or get locked out or need help identifying K numbers, whatever it might be, you can have them go directly to this link as well and access that help automatically. There's a new process in for forwarding your email, for changing your password, if they need to get alerts for weather closures, all that stuff is going to be right here found under the help desk for students. We're going to be going, however, under employee support. And then here you can see there's a bunch of components on the side, just like there were before. You may want to go directly towards Moodle, and unfortunately this is not going to take you anywhere that you want to go to request a Moodle course. There is a little link here that says request a course. You can also go do that by, well, let's see what happens if we click on this, if it actually takes you there. Yeah, here's your employee requests. It's also found under the request forms rather than going to Moodle, so just below that. Here you can see that there is a complete overview of requesting the Moodle course. You just put your primary information in here. If you're requesting it to be put on a test server, you would do that because you're trying to work on the course Moodle page prior to the course being active or being on the quote-unquote live server, the server that students and staff have access to always. You can request it to go for development only, and that will send it to the test server. To access the test server, you'll need to go to moodle.test.kellogg.edu or moodletest.kellogg.edu, something along those lines. But it is a different page than just logging in and going through the Broom portal. If you're having it moved directly to the live server, that's just picking where you want it to go. And then last but not least, if you're looking to course copy from a previous Moodle page that you've created, don't go back and recreate all that work. Have that course content copied and then you would just need to put in the course name, EMT, for example, 200, the section number, so 01 or 04, depending on what class you're teaching, and then the year. So it could be, for example, 18 or not, pardon me, 19 fall, for example. If you just want a blank Moodle shell, you can click that as well. You can add comments. If you have questions, leave your phone number and they can get a hold of you. And typically this is taken care of almost immediately. So it's very easy for you to be able to use this request form. It'll send you an email and update you, and it's, like I said, it's much easier to do so. If you copy stuff to the live server, if you're not listed as the instructor of record in Chris, then it's going to give you some trouble. So make sure you talk to Jackie or myself ahead of time to make sure you're on that class that's been assigned to you. Once you're the instructor of record, you'll easily be able to copy those Moodle requests to the live server. You can request them to the test server for developmental purposes at any time, regardless if you're the lead instructor or the instructor of record. So once that's done, that's a pretty easy thing to be able to do. If you're having issues with the form, you can click here. It talks about, there's some stuff with Ensemble. If you're interested in that, we can talk more about that together. The last one that I get a lot of questions is, how do I send things to the test server? Or pardon me, how do I send to the testing center? In this case, we're still going to be under the help desk, but we're going to go under the footprints work order. Now, there's another way to be able to get to this really easy, and that's on the bottom of the page. You can easily click just below help desk, work orders. This again is under faculty and staff. And so I'll click on that. It's going to take me to the footprints login. You'd use your KID number and password to log in. This is also the way in which that you would, let's see if it'll actually go here. There it goes. This is the way that you would also submit things if you're having an IS problem, a facilities problem, or again, you're wanting to change something for the testing center. IS would be anything related to computers, the sim lab's having an error, you need somebody to come down right now and fix it, the projector goes out and you can't figure out why. You can easily put these in yourself just by going under new IS incident or new facilities incident if there's a leak. We had a problem last year where there was a significant amount of water coming in from the window in 201. We had another time where the toilet in the sim lab was leaking. Those are facility orders that you would put in as example there. The testing request is probably the most commonly used one with our EMT program, makeup tests, things of that nature. Even though we have the laptops and we want to use this for gathering of data for all of our static exams, if a student's missing it, or if your schedule is so condensed that you need to use a testing center, or maybe you just want to use it because it simulates experience of the National Registry in Pearson VUE, this is where you'd be. You're going to go ahead and fill this guy out as much as you possibly can. Instructor name, subject, obviously course number, section. Some of these aren't too crazy. Pickup is important. Pickup is going to be, are you going to pick it up? We do not do department secretarial pickup. So if you're going to send a student and you're going to send a paper test, or maybe you're going to do this through EMS testing, you need to make sure that you place yourself as the instructor. Set your time. Typically, if you're going to have some type of time limit, if you don't have a time limit, hit 0, as you can see by the note by hovering my cursor over. Materials that are allowed, again, this is common stuff. I almost always allow for my students to have scratch paper, but that's about it. Other materials that are allowed, you can add additional things in there if they need it, but they're going to have some additional notes and information listed below of what that is specifically. If you're going to use a calculator, there's a ton of calculator choices that are in here, from the TIAs to none to nursing to you name it, and that's different things that they're issued when they go to take their test. And I did skip test type up here as well too, so paper, pencil, or computer. So you can do either or. I'm going to talk primarily about computer because that seems to be the biggest hurdle in getting testing completed. Again, is how do you get your students to redo that online testing. So most importantly is going to be student names. Now, I'm a fan of it, going into my Chris, to my course roster, exporting that out as a PDF, basically printing it as a PDF, saving that document, and then under student names I would put see attached PDF. And that would basically give me the opportunity to instead of typing all my students' names out, you got 18, 20 students, rather than typing all their names out, you can attach a roster by attaching it down here below with the attachment section. You can also, if you have 1 or 2 students doing it, you can just go ahead and type their name in there, and they'll be able to see that's the one student that's there. Most of your exams for Platinum are going to require a password. So for example, if I put password in here, maybe it's 1230, 123, whatever it is. These are passwords that the students won't be putting in. The staff over in the bridge for OM 207, they'll be the ones putting this information in for the student. So you don't need to make it a complicated password. Just something that's going to prevent students from logging in. It could be a random color, whatever, a random body part, it doesn't matter. Just something that's not too convoluted for them to be able to type out. And then again, attach any attachments that you would like to. Once you're ready to go, all you have to do is come up here and make sure you hit submit. If you hit save, it will save it, but it won't submit it. Once you submit it, you'll get an email back and it will let you know. The other thing that's really neat about this is if we can see if I can cancel this request. It can take me right back here to my home, and it will show all the tests that I have had here. You can see my most recent one, any issues with facilities, and then all the different issues with IS, primarily the sim lab that we've been dealing with. So most of these relatively easy components to be able to get to. But those are the most commonly asked questions that I see by adjunct instructors that are new. So just to recap, that's how to go ahead and find your student resources. That's how to go ahead and submit a Moodle request, and also how to submit either an IS, facilities, or a testing request to test at the bridge. Hope this was helpful. If you have any other questions, feel free to give me a call. And as always, thank you for what you do.